Over these next two trainings, we're going to be walking through the creation of both blog sites as well as the creation of blog posts and how we go about first creating our site, understanding how the site works, but then also how do we add that to our existing websites or funnels if we want to use them there. So with that, we're going to dive right in. We're going to take this pretty slow and we're going to start by understanding what is the difference between a blog and a website. So a blog is a place where we keep a series of ongoing value-added articles, content that we're creating for the people who visit our site, visit our blog or visit our site. As opposed to a funnel, which is designed so that we can take people step by step and guide them down the process, such as opting into a freebie and then being asked if they would like to purchase the next level of that freebie and then take them to the next step where they may purchase even higher level ticket offer. As opposed to a website, which is really a place for your entire brand to sit and people can learn all about your brand. The blog is typically going to be found for most of the users of our platform. The blog is going to be found usually on a website, and it's going to be you'll link to your blog from that website, and it's going to be your ongoing content that you're always adding, tips, tricks, values, things that you're sharing that are directly related to the area you're an authority of, or the area that you're content. So in our example that we've been using, we're talking about health coach secrets, how to be a great health coach, how to help clients and all of those things. And so a blog would be more and more value add, things you should know, things you can share about and that type of content. You're going to add that content. Okay. So now here we are. If we go to sites, forms, and etc., you're going to click on blogs and it'll bring you to your blog dashboard. Now, the blog dashboard is going to have a couple things here. First, you're going to see your total number of blog posts. And just to be clear, you can have actually multiple blog sites. So maybe you have multiple websites that you're using and they're different. You could have a blog for each of them. Now, we're going to just build one for our Health Coach Secrets page, but you could have multiple. And so it'll show you all your blog posts across all of your various blog sites. Number two, you're going to see number of blog sites you actually have published. And then three, you're going to see your total number of visitors that are coming per week to read and view your content. Okay. Now below that, you're going to see a list of all your sites, their status, what the blog's about, and then last updated, anything like that. And you're going to get the opportunity to have actions. We'll show you that. So in this training, we're going to start by creating our blog site. I will tell you that it's really important to have a domain that's already connected. We're going to use the domain we've been using from the beginning. And so let's walk through that now. So we're going to select create blog site. And then from here, we're going to give our blog a title. So we're going to say Coaching Secrets blog. Okay. And then from there, we're going to select the domain we want to work with. So we're going to work with our tophealthcoachsecrets.com domain. Now, this isn't where they're going to go. This is not enough for it to work. We actually have to give it a slug, meaning a pathway. And so we're going to type in that pathway. And for us, we're just going to type blog. So that means, and you're used to this, you've done this before. And so we always want to use logic. Like when you go to someone's blog, you often see that it goes to their website /blog. And that's what we're doing here. I'm just using blog. You can use anything you want. I could use anything I want, and that would work too. But we're going to do blog for our example. Okay. And the system's going to make sure that you're not already using this. That's why you see this circle. So make sure it's not ever used. Then you're going to add a blog meta description. And this is all based on search engine optimization. I highly recommend you Google and learn about SEO and what meta descriptions are. But if you want a quick way to do this, you can just go into ChatGPT or any of those types of AI assistants. You could probably use one inside of Content Genius if you're using our social connector platform to get an SEO meta description. So we're just going to create our own right now really quick. A description cannot be more than 100 characters. So we're going to say everything you could ever want to know about being a health coach. Okay, we're just doing this for example. Again, you need to go through and research what's the best meta description for you. We're going to click create. And just like this, it's going to take a second. And just like this, it's going to create your blog site. And when it does, it's going to open it up. And we're now actually inside of the Coaching Secrets blog. Okay, so now we're inside of this Coaching Secrets blog, showing you all of your blog posts. Now, in a second, I'm going to click the back button, but I want to explain to you, obviously there are no blog posts. We haven't created content. So we're going to talk about that here in a second. But before we do, I'm going to click the back button, and that's going to take us back into our blog's dashboard. And now we'll see we have a live blog ready to go called Coaching Secrets Blog. Okay, and you can see there's nothing that's been posted yet, so there's nothing published, but here it is. And I'm going to click on this, and I'm going to go ahead and show you, again, we're going to work on this later, but I'm going to show you, if I click here on the little up arrow, the little share arrow, I click on that, it's going to open our blog site, okay? And it looks like there's nothing there, and that's because we've not added any content to this blog. So that's what we're going to talk about next. All right. So let's go click on the back button, and let's step into the next section, which is we need to have authors for our posts. Remember, blogs are where you create content and you create from authors. So blog posts or documents or articles, however you want to refer to it, they're going to come from someone. And you can have multiple authors. Maybe you work in a team and multiple people like to post. You can give them access to do so. So we're going to create an author now. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to click on our settings section here inside of the blog dashboard. And we're going to click on, here we are in authors, and we're going to add a new author. So our author is going to be Jeremy Nix, and we're going to add an image here. So I'm going to select change, and I'm going to upload, and you'll notice there are some very specific settings that you need and dimensions. So we're going to upload our author image. There we go, author Jeremy. It's going to add that image. It needs to be 512 pixels by 512 and no bigger than 10 megabytes. And this is going to be author Jeremy Nix. And we're just going to say something like, Jeremy Nix is the founder and creator of Social Connector, a platform that helps entrepreneurs get more done in less time, less stress with less money by using an all-in-one contact management system and powerful automations. Okay. And then we're going to go through here and we're going to add our Facebook for the author. We're going to add the Facebook, the Instagram, the YouTube channel. We're going to add all of those items. I'm not going to do that now. You can always update these later. And then we're simply going to click create author. Okay. And there it is. Now you can create multiple authors, but we're just going to create the one author today. Okay. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add categories. So we're going to add categories for our blogs, and you're going to find out as we're organizing and creating our blog site and making sure it's all up to date, you're going to find that categories will be really helpful because you can let people look at things based on category. And so for us, and again, we're doing our health coach secrets. For us, we're going to create our first, we'll do one on, let's do fitness. Okay, so we have a category of fitness. Now you can add an image if you want. You're not required to add an image. So we're not going to here. We're going to say how to everything a coach should know about fitness. Keeping it really simple here. And we're going to give it a slug, and it's going to be fitness. Just like we do for categories /fitness. Okay. And we're going to click create category. We're going to create another category here. Let's create the food. And we're going to call this /food for our slug. And we're going to say everything a coach should know about food. Okay, we're going to create this category. And let's create one more category just for fun. And we're going to talk about stress management. Okay, and this will be stress. And then we're going to say everything a coach should know about helping their clients manage stress. Okay, create the category. So we've got these three categories. Our final section here, we're going to talk about more in our last training. This is our RSS, and this is what people use. It's called Really Simple Syndication. And what we can do is we can turn this on and use it, and it will keep a running feed in a very specific language that can be used for people to subscribe as well as it can be used for you to send emails, which we'll show you in a later training. So you can send blog-based emails so that whenever you create new content, an email goes out to your subscribers and they get that content directly delivered to them. The only thing I would have you do is I would have you turn this on, but it's only if you're doing it with limited posts. So like, let's just say let's just do 5 posts. Okay. So we're going to do that. And then we're going to click the back button. And now we have everything that we need. We have an author, we have a published site, and we have got everything set up. So our next thing to do is to create a blog. So we're going to create our blog post. So I'm going to select right here and we're going to go into our blog site. And now we're going to deal with just creating blogs from scratch. And so we're going to click on create a blog post. We're going to give this blog a title. So this title is going to be how to create a blog post. And then we're going to add an image, and it should be 600 by 400. So we're going to add that image. And I have one, so I'm going to go ahead and click the change button here. And I highly recommend you start creating a folder in your media storage drive. And we're going to call this our blog posts. Click save. I'm going to open up our folder here, and we're going to upload the file that I created, the image that I created, how to create a blog post. Okay, it's going to grow here. Double click, add it right there. You can type how to create a blog post, and then you're going to write a very simple description. In this article, we're going to talk about all the things you need to understand in order to create a blog post. Okay, so just a really simple description that can be added. You want it to be about 100 to 250 characters. Okay, it's just a short glimpse and viewers are going to see it. So we'll create the post. When you create the post, it's going to open up a new window, and here is your post. You're going to see that you have all the editing tools. You can add audio, you can add images. There's so many things you can do. Consider this very much like using a Word document or a Google Doc. And we give you a template that you can start with, right? And then you can just change all of this. You can come in and you can change all the information. You write your post out, but for us, we're going to save it just like this. You will see that we give you in blogs, we like to let you know how long things are. Some people want to know those things. You'll be able to preview the post. You can see version history. You can duplicate the post. We're going to go ahead and save it right now. And we have all kinds of features, again, that you can use. So you can work through these things, add all kinds of information. Then we're going to click continue. We're going to assume this is done. We're going to click continue. And then here, you're going to come through and there's a lot of information. And this is not a blog training video. This is how to create blogs inside of Social Connectors platform. So you can come through and you can do a lot of information here. You can add a bunch of things. You can view the SEO. This is all your SEO stuff. So you can add canonical links. If you understand those, you can add them. You can change what the URL slug will be. So this right now is going to be it. I would say leave it as your title. It's very common to do that. Or if you're using a keyword process that you understand, you could add that as your thing. Then you're going to add a category. For us, we're just going to say this is going to stress management. No big deal. You can add keywords for this. So let's just talk about, we'll put the keyword of blog. We'll put the keyword by, you just hit the return button and we'll do stress. And so we have those things. Then we're going to choose our author. We use Jeremy Nix. Okay. And then we're going to publish this, or we can schedule and publish. So we can set a time for when it will go. But for us, we're going to publish it right now. We're going to click publish. It's going to bring us back. And here we are on our Coaching Secrets blog, and we have our blog. Here it is. If we want to look at that particular post, we can select it and open up the share window, and it's going to open. And we want you to see all this. And just like that, here it is. It's open, it's running, and here's our post. This is what it looks like. Okay, so we have our header image at the top that was added automatically. We have all of this. If we go to our blog page now and we refresh this page, it will load. Here's one of our images right here. It'll load that. So you can create lots of images. You can import, lots of posts. You can import posts. We'll show you how to do that in more advanced. And in our next training, we're going to spend time talking about how do I customize the look of my blog? How do I add my blog to a page or a part of my website and then make it a part of all those things. And so we're going to show you that in our next training. But now you know how simple it is to start